Today we're continuing to read The Brothers Karamazov. She was breathless. She had perhaps intended to express her idea with more dignity, art, and naturalness, but her speech was too hurried and crude. It was full of youthful impulsiveness. It betrayed that she was still smarting from yesterday's insult, and that her pride craved satisfaction. She felt this herself. Her face suddenly darkened. An unpleasant look came into her eyes. Alyosha at once saw it and felt a pang of sympathy. His brother Ivan made it worse by adding, "I've only expressed my own view," he said. "From anyone else, this would have been affected and overstrained, but from you, no. Any other woman would have been wrong, but you are right. I don't know how to explain it, but I see that you are absolutely genuine, and therefore you are right. But that's only for the moment. And what does this moment stand for? Nothing but yesterday's insult." Madame Holikov obviously had not intended to interfere, but she could not refrain from this very just comment. Quite so, cried Ivan, with peculiar eagerness, obviously annoyed at being interrupted. In anyone else, this moment would be only due to yesterday's impression, and would be only a moment. But with Katerina Ivanovna's character, that moment will last all her life. What for anyone else would be only a promise, is for her an everlasting, burdensome, grim perhaps, but unflagging duty. And she will be sustained by the feeling of this duty being fulfilled. Your life, Katerina Ivanovna, will henceforth be spent in painful brooding over your own feelings, your own heroism, and your own suffering. But in the end, that suffering will be softened and will pass into sweet contemplation of the fulfillment of a bold and proud design. Yes, proud it certainly is, and desperate in any case, but a triumph for you, and the consciousness of it will at last be a source of complete satisfaction, and will make you resigned to everything else. This was unmistakably said with some malice and obviously with intention, even perhaps with no desire to conceal that he spoke ironically and with intention. "Oh dear, how mistaken it all is," Madame Holikov cried again. "Alexey Fyodorovitch, you speak. I want dreadfully to know what you will say," cried Katerina Ivanovna, and burst into tears. Alyosha got up from the sofa. "It's nothing, she went on through her tears. "I'm upset. I didn't sleep last night, but by the side of two such friends as you and your brother, I still feel strong, for I know you two will never desert me. Unluckily, I am obliged to return to Moscow, perhaps tomorrow, and to leave you for a long time. And, unluckily, it's unavoidable," Ivan said suddenly. "Tomorrow, to Moscow." Her face was suddenly contorted. But, dear me, how fortunate," she cried in a voice suddenly changed. In one instant, there was no trace left of her tears. She underwent an instantaneous transformation, which amazed Alyosha. Instead of a poor, insulted girl, weeping in a sort of laceration, he saw a woman, completely self-possessed, and even exceedingly pleased, as though something agreeable had just happened. "Oh, not fortunate that I am losing you, of course not," she corrected herself suddenly, with a charming society smile. "Such a friend as you are could not suppose that. I am only too unhappy at losing you." She rushed impulsively at Ivan, and seizing both his hands, pressed them warmly. "But what is fortunate is that you will be able in Moscow to see Auntie and Agafya, and to tell them all the horror of my present position. You can speak with complete openness to Agafya, but spare dear Auntie. You will know how to do that. You can't think how wretched I was yesterday and this morning, wondering how I could write them that dreadful letter. For one can never tell such things in a letter. Now it will be easy for me to write, for you will see them and explain everything. Oh, how glad I am! But I am only glad of that, believe me. Of course, no one can take your place. I will run at once to write the letter," she finished suddenly, and took a step as though to go out of the room. And that's the end of the reading for today. Have a good day.